This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip, find all of our content at mx3.vip, or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. And Jason, over this last couple of days, what is our number right now on YouTube?
136,000.
136. Then the YouTube scoreboard there, if you will, rounds up and rounds down. So you don't get to go to 137 until you get to 137.
That's right.
Okay. We have to be at 137.5 by January 31st to be on our goal of 250,000 in the year 2025. We are right on it, man. We are right on it.
Doing good.
Thank you once again, viewing and listening audience. Well, something caught my attention this day, and this last week, that blew me away once again. Also made me hurt a little bit. And I'll explain both of those things to you right now. And we are today going to talk about one of the greatest athletes in the history of sports, Michael Jordan.
The GOAT.
I don't even know what he is the greatest of all time of what, because it's more than basketball. Is he the greatest of all time at selling tennis shoes?
Yeah, I think his mother has a little bit to do with that.
I mean, this guy is unbelievable. So what caught my attention, Jason, is this last week, his rookie preseason jersey, 1984, sold for $4,215,000. That caught my attention.
Yeah, I think it would anybody.
And obviously, there's several athletes. I shouldn't say lots. There's a couple of athletes that I put on, hey, let's call it the Mount Rushmore, which is, we'll just call it the 4 greatest athletes of all time. And what I say by that is you have to have dominated your sport. There was nobody else. There was nobody even to compare you to. It's like these LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, very respected. I appreciate them guys greatly, but they are not, or were not, Michael Jordan. And they never will be.
Yeah, true.
That's just the way it is, baby.
My opinion as well.
The number 23 jersey, believed to be the first jersey Jordan ever wore while playing in a basketball game with the Chicago Bulls. The first preseason game, October the 5th, 1984, in Peoria, Illinois. Now, why was it in Peoria? Back in those days, 30, 40 years ago, you're always moving your preseason games around, trying to build interest within your own region. So they're down at the bottom of Illinois, in Peoria, having a preseason game, and that's why they're down there. It's just kind of like a carnival where they go from city to city working on promoting themselves. Yeah, remember, Michael Jordan's a rookie. Who knows what he's fixing to be? He could be a bust. But this particular jersey, October 5th, 1984, was the night Michael Jordan made his NBA preseason debut. In 1985, that jersey sold for $800, his debut jersey. Okay, he wore this jersey through the preseason games, and then he moved to another jersey when the regular season started. And we're talking about the original jersey that he put on in the locker room the very first night he walked out onto an NBA floor to play an NBA preseason basketball game. 1985, $800 from a 1984 jersey to $4,215,000. Like I say, he switched jerseys before the regular season debut, and then wore that one for the rest of the 84-85 season. Now here's something else that's going to make you make the hair stand up on your neck. ESPN has reported that this is only the 5th most expensive NBA jersey ever to be sold by auction. Now, 2 of the 4 jerseys to bring higher prices were also worn by Jordan. So 3 of the 5. And I believe one of them is his 98 jersey, like the last jersey he ever wore as a Bull. I think one of them was the 93 jersey, where right after the three-peat. And it's kind of surprising that one of those North Carolina Tar Heel jerseys isn't in here. But so 3 of the 5 are part of Michael Jordan's repertoire. And at 4.215, that only comes in 5th place in NBA jerseys. So, how did we get to a point where a man could have jerseys go for $4 million plus and have 2 others that went for higher than that? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Did you ever know his middle name?
I can't say I did.
I did not either. And I know a whole lot about Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, February the 17th, 1963, also known as MJ. Now, this is interesting. I go out and I do the research on just like not knowing his middle name was Jeffrey. They list Michael Jordan as an American businessman and former professional basketball player. They don't list him as the all-time greatest basketball player. They list him as an American businessman. I think that's really funny.
I think he's making about as much as off the field, or excuse me, off the court than he did on the court.
There's no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. I think his highest salary wasn't $3 or $4 million.
Yeah,
and he's a billionaire.
Yeah,
first ever athlete to make it to $1 billion. I think LeBron James is there now as well. But he come along kind of a dead era. Now, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they put the NBA back on the map from a time there in the late 70s and early 80s when the NBA was kind of struggling. But they put it out there. I mean, it was a big deal. I can remember his rookie year, you watch the news at night, the 10 o'clock news, and when they got to the sports section, it's only 63 days before Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls come to town. And they would do this every night. And there was a lady who got so sick and tired of hearing about Michael Jordan coming to town. She was a Dallas Maverick, and we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks. She was a Dallas Maverick season ticket holder. She got so sick and tired of hearing about Michael Jordan. The day of the game, she tore up her tickets and threw them away. Didn't even go. Just sick of it. Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York. And I did not know that either. I thought he was born in North Carolina, and here's the reason why. He was born in Cumberland Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. As I say, February 17, 1963. His mom was a bank employee, and his dad was an equipment supervisor. He had 2 older brothers, James Jr. and Larry. Now, a lot of people know his dad. Bald-headed man, had the cigars in his mouth. You can see those pictures, and later on, Michael Jordan's dad was murdered.
Yeah.
And some people thought that was due to the fact that Jordan's gambling habit had something to do with his dad. Now, they never ruled it anything like that at all, the authorities. They wrote it as just an incident of an unfortunate person being in an unfortunate place. So, whatever.
Yeah.
In 68, Michael Jordan's 5 years old now. 1968, the family moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, and Jordan attended Emsley Langley High School, where he played basketball, baseball, and football. Now, this is what if you've listened at all, most people know this story. But he tried out for the basketball varsity team as a sophomore. He was 5'11" as a sophomore. Now, he grew to 6'6". 5'11" as a sophomore. The coach deemed him too short, and he did not make the varsity as a sophomore. In this day and age, if you can halfway play as a freshman, they're putting you on the varsity, Jason. He could not make the varsity as a sophomore. Only a 2-year letterman on his high school varsity team. He went to the JV, and he dominated. 40-point games every JV night. And, of course, the following summer, he grew 4 inches. He went to 6'2" between his sophomore and junior year. And then, of course, he dominated the high school ranks. He averaged 25 points a game. As a senior, he was selected to the 1981 McDonald's All-American game, which is you're taking basically the 20 best high school players in the nation, and they 10-on-10. They play each other in what's McDonald's has sponsored that deal for a long time. Being a McDonald's All-American in high school basketball is a huge thing. Big time stuff right there. So he did that, and then of course he was recruited. Duke and North Carolina, always at the top of the list. Duke and North Carolina was the top 2 recruits. South Carolina, Syracuse, and Virginia. Now, I'm going to bring up the Virginia deal for a minute because Ralph Sampson was at Virginia, who was a stud. Jordan playing with Sampson, you'd think that would have been big time. But here's what we didn't know. North Carolina also, at the same time as the Michael Jordan recruit, they got Sam Perkins. Sam Perkins ended up becoming a Dallas Maverick in 1984. They came in together, they were freshmen together, and they got drafted into the NBA amateur draft at the same time together, which is another big deal in that draft, where Jordan went 3rd to the Chicago Bulls, and Sam Perkins went 4th to the Dallas Mavericks. That close, Jason. That close to being a Dallas Maverick, Michael Jordan was. And, well, who went first? Akeem Olajuwon went first. Houston. And, frankly, he took his team to the NBA Finals in 1986. Jordan didn't take the Bulls to the Finals till 91. And the 2 years that Jordan was retired, which was in 94 and 95, Akeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets won both of those championships. So, Jordan won 6 championships in 8 years. He really won it 6 in 6 years because he had retired in those 2 years. And during that time, the Houston Rockets won those other 2 championships with Akeem Olajuwon, the number 1 overall pick in the Michael Jordan draft. So that's how it goes. Now, most of our viewing and listening audience will not know who went number 2 in that draft. A guy named Sam Bowie. You never heard of him, have you?
I can't say I have.
Oh, Sammy Boy didn't do too well.
So that's probably why I've never heard of him.
And that was back when it was a big man's game.
Yeah.
Olajuwon was a center. Bowie was a center. You wanted those guys. And you can't really blame, I think it was the Cleveland Cavaliers that took Bowie. I'm not really for sure who drafted him because that's how insignificant it was. Yeah. People know that the Rockets took Jordan, Olajuwon. They know Chicago took Jordan, and they know the Mavericks took Perkins. But most people don't remember Sam Bowie or even who drafted him. But nevertheless, obviously that team could have had Michael Jordan, but they did not. But that is how Michael Jordan ended up in North Carolina, because the family moved there for other business-related purposes. So at that time, North Carolina had been dominant since the 1950s. Not necessarily in winning the national championship every year, but they are always in the Sweet 16. They're always in the Final Four. Duke was an up-and-comer at that time, so it was, I believe, an easy choice. Since then, Duke's won more national championships than has North Carolina. Don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't.
But when I think of college basketball, I think about Duke, North Carolina basketball game. Mm-hmm. And they get to play each other 2 to 3 times a year, twice in the conference, and then most of the time they match up and play up against each other in the conference championship at the end of the year in the tournament. And matter of fact, they did this year too. They played this year, and it was a shot at the buzzer to win or lose. And
wow.
And Duke won that game. Now, another big deal that Jordan was a part of was the 1992 Dream Team, Barcelona. That was the first year we took professional athletes out of the United States to the Olympics. and the Dre team just dominated. It was incredible. You talk about a men amongst boys. It was a men amongst babies.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Now, what people don't remember is Jordan, as an amateur in 1984, played in the Olympics. Bet you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't.
Because they were amateurs then. And Jordan, I won't say he was a nobody, but it was still an amateur team. They won the gold in 84, obviously. They won the gold in 92. Now, I have not mentioned yet, my first ever college basketball game I ever remember watching was this national championship game, Jordan's freshman year. I was at our uncle's house, named to be remain silent. I was at our uncle's house. The national championship game was coming on. It was North Carolina versus Georgetown. And Michael Jordan hit the corner shot down in the left corner of the floor, basically to seal the game. And I remember that, and it stuck with me every year. Now, a big deal, like I say, Sam Perkins, the leader of that team was actually James Worthy, that went on to the Los Angeles Lakers and played with Magic Johnson and won 5 NBA championships. So they were no slouch whenever he got to North Carolina, but obviously he and Sam Perkins, the duo, took them to new heights. Incredible. You were talking about some of these records that Michael Jordan owns off the air. He is the all-time leader in regular season scoring at 30.1 points a game. He averaged 30.1 points a game throughout his career.
That is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Now, here you go. His career playoff scoring average, Jason, 33.4 points a game.
Incredible. Incredible.
So I believe you're correct when you said there are records that he will never match.
Right.
And I think that you're onto something there. Now, in 1999, I don't know if you remember 1999 about how the turn of the century, we come up with the best of everything. The best music, the best movies, the best everything. It was also the best athletes of the last 100 years of the century. Okay? It was actually the 20th century best athletes, greatest of North America. Who would you have thought was number one in 1999 as the best athlete to ever play sports?
I would have said Jordan.
Okay, because now remember, Jordan's coming off 6 out of the last 8 years, 98.
Yeah.
From 93 to 98, 92 to 98 of winning 6. So of the 8. So you're right there with this best athlete in the history of all time. Jordan's on your mind.
Absolutely.
Jordan still came in second.
To who?
Babe Ruth.
I don't know. I still may lean towards Jordan myself.
Well, I think it's also due to the fact that you didn't get to see him play and him dominate.
Babe Ruth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a man amongst boys too.
Yeah.
When in the 1920s, when you're got this basically a wooden bat that you just carved out of a tree, not to that degree, but pretty much the old Roy Hobbs story.
Yes.
On The Natural.
Yeah.
And you are hitting a baseball that's dead, not lively like it is today. And you hit 714 home runs in the 1920s.
Big deal.
Big deal. People also don't remember he won 3 World Series with the Boston Red Sox.
You put Ruth up against today's pitchers, though.
You just can't do that.
Yeah.
It's a different deal.
Mm-hmm.
Babe Ruth stayed out all night. They were drinking beer when they showed up at the park. I mean, it's just they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You got to remember, the golfers didn't work out till Tiger Woods got on the tour. Now they've got trainers and chiropractors and gyms set up right there on the grounds of every week. So that brings me to the Mount Rushmore. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who is on your Mount Rushmore? Or do you want me to tell you who should be on the Mount Rushmore?
Just tell me.
Well, Babe Ruth should be up there.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods. You a little iffy on Tiger?
No. I'm with you.
Tiger took golf to a place it will never go again because there'll never be another Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And Wayne Gretzky.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
Wayne Gretzky had more assists. See, in hockey, you get a point when you score.
Yep.
You are credited with an assist point when you've passed. They give out 2 assists basically every time a goal scored. You pass it to me, I pass it to him, and he shoots and makes it. So we both get an assist. We get credited with scoring a point, even though only 1 point goes on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Gretzky has more assists than the second guy in line has points. Okay, so you think about that. If you're shooting all the time,
yeah,
you're probably not going to have very many assists. You know, it's like the guy that scores 35 points in a basketball game. He didn't have a whole lot of assists because he's shooting every time he gets it. Gretzky has more assists than the second leading points goal scorer
yeah,
in the National Hockey League of all time.
I noticed you didn't put any football guys on there.
I did not, because football's a team sport.
Yeah,
and you don't get to stand out as much as these 4 guys. Baseball's a team sport too, but people also don't know Babe Ruth pitched. Babe Ruth's got 150, right at 150 wins as a pitcher. That gets you into the Hall of Fame today, because these guys only throw 5 or 6 innings.
Every time you see a picture of Babe Ruth, it's him at bat.
It is.
I'm not sure I can think of a picture where he's pitching.
And he had 150 wins. Right at 150. It may have been 130, it may be 170, but it's right in that category.
Ballpark, yeah.
Yes. I mean, yeah, he's got big time pitching stats that get overlooked because of 714 home runs, 60 home runs in a season. All those things are huge.
Yeah.
And that's you think about, this is how great of value he was. The Red Sox sell him to the Yankees for $1 million in 1919. That's more money than anybody could comprehend in 1919. Maybe the Rockefeller family or somebody.
Yeah. I wonder what that is with inflation.
That's probably more money than the federal government had in 1919. Yes, I don't know. You feel free to look that up. Here you go. Michael Jordan, 6-time NBA champion. 6-time NBA Finals champion. NBA Finals MVP, excuse me. 5-time most valuable player in the league. 14 All-Stars. I don't really get real excited about All-Star games because you get to choose some players and he can't go and these 5 don't want to play. So you end up getting maybe the 7th best player that in that line. I mean, just anybody can make the All-Star team.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Because you got the people that the fans and the players get to vote in any sport. Then you got the coaches' decisions. And like in baseball, there has to be a player from every team that gets. Every team has to be represented in the All-Star game. It's not like that in the other sports.
Real quick, 1 million in 1919 is 18.3 million today.
I would have thought it'd been more than that.
Yeah. Still pretty significant, but yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you had given that money to Warren Buffett in the 1940s, you'd be the richest man to ever walk the face of the earth.
That's right.
Yes. Jordan, 3-time NBA MVP. 10 times. This is where I get excited. 10-time All NBA first team. He also made the All NBA second team in 1985. And all right, here's your big stat, Jason. NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're scoring 30 points a game, and you were the best defender in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you what else you need to know. And he was a 9-time NBA All Defensive First Team. Obviously, NBA Rookie of the Year, All NBA Team, scoring champion 10 times. I guess if you're scoring 30 points a game, you're probably going to be the champion a time or two.
Yeah.
Well, he got 10 of them. NBA leader in steals, I mean, the dude was taking it. You come down, he's going to take it away from you. You go the other end, he's going to make it. It just goes on and on and on. The greatest dominating player I had seen when he played. Because you got to remember now, Gretzky started in 1979, but we weren't getting to see a whole lot of hockey on TV. You know, you might get to see some of the Stanley Cup finals,
right?
But you're not watching hockey every night on TV.
Oh, you didn't?
Not at all. So you weren't getting to see that. You get to see Jordan. Jordan led off the newscast almost every night, and then Air Jordan takes off, and because Air Jordan is a different company from Nike. Did you know that?
I had seemed like I'd heard that, but no, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And that was all. That's your businessman title. That when we started the show, he's a businessman. Oh, by the way, played national NBA basketball too. So he had to go do the basketball thing to make the rest of his life work. And remember, he also went and played in the Chicago White Sox AA organization for a year and a half. In those 2 years he laid off basketball, remember, he's playing baseball. And the team, the guys that were on that team were very happy for him to come, because the first thing he did was spend millions of dollars on upgrading the facilities.
They made out.
I mean, those minor league teams, I mean, they literally ride on school buses.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan bought him a Greyhound.
Yeah.
They're no longer riding on the school bus.
He wasn't going to ride around on it.
No, he wasn't. But I heard that he rode every time he was on that bus. Yeah. But we had a Greyhound. I mean, running water, restroom, cushion seats, on and on and on. And I could go on for another 6 hours on everything that he basically has done in his career. But we would probably have to have a full month worth of episodes to talk about Michael Jordan, who continues to dominate the wavelengths. And as we talked about, Jason, off the air, is now got himself. He owns part of the Charlotte Hornets, and then now he's involved in NASCAR.
Yeah, with Denny Hamlin.
What's that team called?
2311.
2311.
Yep.
And something else that's a big deal to me, growing up a NASCAR fan since the 1970s, is that NASCAR is close to a monopoly as you can get, when monopolies in the United States of America are illegal. And he's taken on the NASCAR. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's big, huge lawsuit that he has going on with NASCAR right now, trying to break them down into kind of what went on the PGA Tour. Now, the PGA is not owned by a family. The NASCAR is owned by the France family, as we all know. And they started it up in 1950s. 1940s. They built Daytona Speedway. I mean, they did. They revolutionized it. But they have kept it within the family and not let anybody else involved. Jordan's coming at him going, we're the show. We need more of the pie. And just like what the PGA Tour players have done over the last couple of years with the new rivalry league that was formed here in 2022. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes open and see what Jordan has going on there, because he does have pending litigation against the NASCAR, and better yet, the Bill France family.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now, I'm going to leave you with this on my Michael Jordan episode. One of the big authenticators in sports memorabilia is Upper Deck. Upper Deck sits on in my opinion, a pedestal all to itself. Now, your cards and all that, it's PSA. But your biggest authentication, when you see the little logo down there at the bottom of an autograph, you want that to be Upper Deck. PSA's right behind them, but Upper Deck is the official. They're the big boy. I'm not going to say they're official because they're all official, but Upper Deck is the big boy. And they had a contract with Michael Jordan. And the 96 jersey, the 95-96 jersey, so this is the comeback, the start of the second three-peat. They put out, they had Michael Jordan sign 1,000 jerseys. Had this nice little box, had the logo, had the hologram, came with a little card. It was sweet. I was fortunate enough to be able to buy one of those jerseys.
Very nice.
In 1996, 97, I probably had it by 98. I gave $500 for it.
Okay.
Now, you want to hear the bad news?
Is it depreciated?
No, it has not depreciated. Maybe I'm doing this episode today on Michael Jordan, this 4 million plus jersey, because I'm kind of sad.
Uh-huh.
I know all the jerseys are worth a lot of money, and I know the one that I bought was a replica, but it was limited to 1,000. Mm-hmm. And like I say, what I gave for it, and in 2011, I needed the money, and I sold that dude for $1,000. Yeah.
Good investment. You doubled your money, but
I quit going on eBay and seeing what those jerseys go for, because that makes me want to cry.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So be fortunate for what you have, and maybe more fortunate for what you don't have anymore that got away. But you got to do what you got to do. I have sold baseball cards more than once to pay bills over the last 40 years. And then when good times come back, then you go back and buy those cards back. So
sometimes at a higher value.
Yes. But when you need, I sold, just in 1991, I sold a 1957 Mickey Mantle to get married. That's bad.
How'd that work out?
I got phenomenal memories out of that. 20 years and 2 children, et cetera, et cetera.
Very good.
And frankly, the reason I sold the Jordan in 2011, because we were getting divorced. Way too much information talked about on this show, Jason.
That's right.
Money, Motivation, and Mike. Once again, you can find us at mx3.vip. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3 podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. So please, we're going to put some things on our website of Michael Jordan. Go down there and like them. Isn't that what they need to do on the YouTube part, Jason?
Yeah. Go down and like, subscribe, comment.
Comment. We want to know who your Mount Rushmore is of sports. So give us those details as well.
Yeah, let us know.
So for everyone who's been a part of this show of Money, Motivation, and Mike, continue to live your life the right way.